Yeah, we're back with part two of the occupation. Let's continue. I imagine maybe we'll just get a few more minutes. Maybe we'll get like a full 2 hours. Like the first one was like an hour. Maybe this one will be an hour or less. It just depends. All right, make sure I'm also recording. All right, let's do this. Despite the gameplay oddities and the stealth section not really being the greatest, I play some games with some absolutely trash stealth, and this one's no exception too. I think it could have been better, but it's not like bad. It just could have been better. But the narrative is strong.
Please insert token.
Yeah, the narrative and the voice acting.
It wasn't supposed to be. I didn't know. If I knew I was going to lose Michael,
So her backing up those files of that kind of like very secretive.
I'm so sorry, Michael.
But this is her narration's brilliant. It is. Her narrative is the woman narrating the story is, yeah, it's fantastic. She did a solid job. That's kind of one of the best parts of it. The narrative is so intriguing because of her narration, or the story is intriguing because of that. She's given pretty much a good, solid performance. Great, solid, excellent. It's very top notch.
I just didn't know. That's why we're doing this.
Seriously, where are we?
Not a
Countrywide.
great deal can be said in
That's why
favour
you're
of the
doing
past
this.
two governments' policies when referring to the UK's outlook on foreign relations. For a second time, the public opinion poll has shown dissatisfaction and, dare I say it, contempt for the way that the PM has handled the country's affairs of late. More money going out, less money coming in, and at the heart of the matter, mass immigration. The majority of jobs for the time being appear to be safe, but for how long? We've already seen huge cuts to healthcare funding and public services, and now the people are beginning to ask the more pressing question: where does it stop? Once more, the suggestion has been made. Does the steadfast yet controversial Union Act hold the key to the country's success? A dramatic measure, some would argue, or the right tool for the right job? Stood here outside the Bowman Carlson building, there is a strong display of the divide that the country is feeling. One people, one Britain, one vote. That's what the slogan says, and one way or another, we may all be expected to vote on it very soon. If one thing remains true through all of
Okay,
these
well that kind of
proceedings,
confirms that
it's
we're
Britain
in the
is
United
approaching
Kingdom
its
or
11th
England,
hour, at the very least in terms
which
of its
it was
financial
kind of
prosperity.
a little bit obvious. I just didn't know if it was in a possible different country. Oh my gosh! Oh shit! Yep, that's an effective opening. Okay then. Okay, that explains a whole lot. So no wonder Charles is kind of like forcing her. Okay, that's effective. That certainly woke me up. Oh shit.
I've said this 100 times, I'm sure, but so sorry for your loss. A toast to the man in the memory. I imagine you'll need to take some personal time. That's fine. Just take what you need. I'll handle everything on my end. I know you and I see differently on a few things, but this is a time for solidarity, not turmoil. Well, perhaps with all that's happened, we can finally work together. Deal with things head on. Nobody could have seen this coming, Scarlet. You mustn't blame yourself.
Oh my gosh, they. Yep, they only gave us like a. Alright, if I'm gonna be very like specific, they only gave us an hour and 7 minutes. And that's. They hooked me. They absolutely hooked me. It was such a brilliant opening of like, and you know what the stakes are, but yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that woke you up. Second part, you're just like, okay, yeah. The first part, they're like, okay, yeah, you just basically backing up files and all that, and you're just being stealthy. It's nothing I haven't seen before. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I was like, I think there's more to it. And then second part, you're just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yep. I was like, I knew it was going to lead up to something like that. The way they were talking, I was like, okay, how did Michael die? Oh, Michael died from explosion. What the shit? That's an effective trial. It gives you so much. It gives you a lot of. It feeds you storytelling breadcrumbs, but without revealing too much. But it gives you just enough that it hooks you in, and you want to be like, okay, now I actually want to play the game. Yeah, it gives you enough in the hour and 7 minutes, but really a solid hour. It gives you enough that you absolutely want to give this game a try. I don't know if it's worth buying, but with the whole kind of like Tyrion bombing that just kind of like it just like you knew something was uneasy the way she was talking. We just didn't know how bad it was until she basically does a deep dive and then reveals like it was effective. That whole kind of like bomb sequence, we didn't know it was gonna lead there. I knew it was something bad. I just didn't know it was to the caliber of that. And I went into blind, so my reaction was like, "Oh my gosh!" I can't highly recommend it because no one actually is gonna play this. That's the sad thing. But for me, yeah, if it's on sales price. But I will wait. I'm gonna wait until it goes back to sale because I'm not in a rush to play it. But if it does, yeah, we got something special in terms of the indie game wise. Yeah, in terms of first impressions, story is top notch. It gets you hooked in, and the story sinks its teeth into you, and doesn't let go. I don't know how the ending is, but yeah, yeah, that whole kind of like her narration is like pitch perfect from basically the stakes that are you know the motivation, you know the stakes, you know that she has an earnest. The voice actress is delivering at all fronts, giving a performance that's very top notch. There's not a lot more I can say. I think the only weakest link, and everyone can agree about, is its gameplay. I mean, in terms of being a video game, the stealth is weak, and in terms of the gameplay, when it's the puzzles are great. I think they're great. But when it's an actual gameplay itself, I think that's the weakest part. I think you could get I think you get detective way too easily in terms of stealth section. I think that's gonna be the weakest part. And no, I'm not just saying that in terms of like credits. I just played the game just now, and I think that's gonna be the weakest part. It depends. It depends if this game goes on sales again, and I would wait. But if it does come to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, you best believe I will get back to it so I can finish it because I enjoyed my time with it. I actually enjoyed it. I actually want to see where the story goes. I absolutely like the characters and the voice actors. And the political setting that doesn't really get addressed enough, but the political setting for this 1987 universe is it really fits because you kind of feel how these people are politically, and as I said in one of my videos, I think it was in part one, but yeah, or maybe it was in part two. But the setting is politically suffocated. You feel like pretty much the government has like and this is a weird metaphor, but I think it's a pretty on point metaphor. It feels like the government has their hands around everybody's individual throat and choking the shit out of them. I couldn't put it better than myself, but I couldn't put it any better way, but yeah, it's like a literal chokehold from the government. Alright, well, I did 11 minutes, but yeah, part 2 will pretty much be a upload. My gosh. Oh, that was a gut punch. It was a gut punch. And yeah, I can see why. Alright, well, let's move on to the next clip. We need definitely levity after that. Whew. Dark territory. Well, I'll see you at the next clip.